Blackstock, a talent manager who was previously married to Kelly Clarkson and the father of her 2 kids, has died. He was 48 years old.
His family releasing a statement that read in part, "Brandon bravely battled cancer for more than 3 years," adding he passed away peacefully and was surrounded by family.
The story of Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock was a war we all thought we knew, played out in bitter headlines and brutal court filings. But the final chapter of his life has revealed a secret so shocking it changes everything. On August 7, 2025, Brandon Blackstock died at the age of 48, and the truth of his final years has left everyone stunned. While the world was watching a nasty public divorce, Blackstock was fighting a private 3-year battle with cancer. The revelation casts their entire feud in a tragic new light. This isn't the simple story of a Hollywood split we thought it was. It's a heartbreaking story of a man facing his own mortality while his reputation was being torn apart. What was really happening behind the scenes? And how does this secret war rewrite everything we thought we knew about one of music's most infamous breakups? Before anything else, there was the shock. On August 7, 2025, news broke that Brandon Blackstock, the music manager once known for his high-profile marriage to Kelly Clarkson, was dead at 48. The confirmation came quickly, painting a somber picture that had been developing in secret for years. A representative for the Blackstock family confirmed the tragic truth that had been hidden from the public eye, stating that Brandon had bravely battled cancer for more than 3 years and passed away peacefully, surrounded by family. Reports from the coroner's office later confirmed the cause was melanoma and the manner of death was natural causes, noting he passed away at his home in Butte, Montana, under hospice care. For 3 years, while the world was consumed by headlines about lawsuits, custody fights, and financial disputes, Blackstock was quietly fighting for his life. He had retreated to his Montana ranch, a place that became his sanctuary as he contended with a battle, far more serious than any courtroom drama. The revelation that he was gravely ill this entire time was a bombshell. It forced everyone to reevaluate the narrative, adding a layer of tragedy that had been completely invisible. The public war was raging, but a much more profound private one was being lost. To understand the weight of this new reality, you have to go back to the beginning, before the lawsuits and accusations, to when Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock were the picture of a perfect blended family. Their story started in 2006. Kelly, already a global superstar, met Brandon backstage at the American Country Music Awards. He was the son of her manager, Narvel Blackstock, and the stepson of country legend Reba McEntire. At the time, Brandon was married, so it was just a fleeting moment. But there was a spark. It took 6 years for them to meet again, this time at the 2012 Super Bowl. Brandon was single now, and that spark caught fire. Kelly later said it was love at first sight. Their romance was a whirlwind, and by the end of the year, they were engaged. They got married in October 2013 in a small, intimate ceremony at Blackberry Farm in Tennessee. Kelly became a devoted stepmom to Brandon's kids, Savannah and Seth, and they soon welcomed their own children, River Rose in 2014 and Remy Alexander in 2016. For years, they were a unit. Brandon wasn't just her husband. He was her manager and her biggest champion. She often credited him with giving her the stable family she'd always wanted. They were a power couple, blending their personal and professional lives seamlessly. But behind the scenes, the fairy tale was starting to crack. The immense pressure of managing a global career while raising 4 kids began to take its toll. Then, in June 2020, the news dropped. Kelly had filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The love story was over. The war was about to begin. What started as a sad split quickly spiraled into a scorched-earth legal war that lasted nearly 2 years. Every detail of their lives was picked apart in the public eye, revealing a level of conflict that was hard to believe. The first fight was over custody of River and Remy. Kelly wanted them in Los Angeles for stability while she filmed her talk. show. Brandon had moved to their Montana ranch and fought for a different arrangement. Things got so heated that in November 2020, a judge noted the level of conflict has increased and that they had a difficult time co-parenting due to issues of trust. The court ultimately granted Kelly primary physical custody. Then came the money. The numbers were staggering. Kelly was ordered to make a one-time, tax-free payment to Brandon of just over $1.3 million. But that wasn't all. She was also ordered to pay $115,000 a month in spousal support until January 2024, plus another $4,601 a month in child support. That's over $160,000 every single month. The battle over their massive $1775 million Montana ranch became a symbol of their broken union. Brandon wanted to leave the music industry to become a full-time rancher and argued the ranch was his. The legal fight dragged on for months until a judge finally affirmed the ranch belonged to Kelly under their prenup, though she agreed to give him a 5.12% share, valued at just over $900,000. Their divorce was finalized in March 2022, leaving a trail of emotional and financial wreckage, all while Brandon was secretly battling a terminal illness. Just when you thought it couldn't get any uglier, it did. Finalizing the divorce wasn't the end of their legal battles. A new front opened up, one that targeted the very foundation of their professional relationship. In September 2020, just a few months after Kelly filed for divorce, Starstruck Management Group, the firm run by Brandon's father, sued her for millions in unpaid commissions from The Kelly Clarkson Show and The Voice. It was a stunning move, but Kelly fired back with a bombshell of her own. She filed a petition with the California Labor Commission, claiming Brandon had acted as her illegal, unlicensed talent agent for years. She argued that since he wasn't a licensed agent, the commissions he and Starstruck collected were illegal, and she wanted her money back. In a huge victory for Clarkson, the Labor Commissioner agreed in November 2023, ruling that Blackstock had indeed operated as an unlicensed agent and ordered him and Starstruck to repay her more than $2.6 million. During the hearing, a particularly painful detail emerged. Kelly testified that Brandon had once told her she couldn't get a spot on The Voice because the network was looking for a more sex symbol type. When asked how she recalled that, she replied, "Well, a wife doesn't forget a time she gets told. She's not a sex symbol." Blackstock appealed, and Clarkson countersued for even more money. Another ugly public trial was set for August 2024. But then, just as things were about to escalate again, it all stopped. In May 2024, both sides quietly requested a dismissal, having reached a confidential settlement. The lawsuits were over, but the final bitter fight seemed to cement their story as one of complete acrimony. Against this backdrop of non-stop conflict, the first sign that something was profoundly wrong came from Kelly herself. On August 6, 2025, just one day before the world learned of Brandon's passing, she did something unexpected. She postponed the remaining dates of her Las Vegas residency. In a rare public message about her private life, she explained the cancellation. "While I normally keep my personal life private," she wrote, "this past year, my children's father has been ill, and at this moment, I need to be fully present for them. I am sincerely sorry to everyone who bought tickets, and I so appreciate your grace, kindness, and understanding." The message was cryptic, but its meaning was powerful. The word ill hinted at a family crisis that went far beyond any past bitterness. It was a signal that despite years of fighting, her focus was now squarely on their children. No one could have known the true gravity of the situation, but just one day later, her message became devastatingly clear. Her decision to cancel her shows wasn't just about an illness. It was an act of a co-parent, a mother putting her children's emotional needs above all else as their father was in his final hours. It was a quiet, stunning act of grace that spoke louder than any court filing ever could. The story of Brandon Blackstock's death is shocking, but not for the reasons we might have expected from the tabloids. The real shock wasn't a dramatic confrontation or a fiery eulogy. It was the quiet, devastating truth he hid for years. While the world watched a public war over money and pride, he was fighting a private 3-year battle with cancer. The most telling detail in this whole saga came not from a lawyer, but from Kelly Clarkson herself, canceling her shows to be with their children in their father's final days. That single act of compassion reframes the entire narrative. It transforms a story about a messy divorce into a heartbreaking human tragedy about loss, secrets, and the complicated, enduring bonds of family. It's a powerful reminder that what we see in the headlines is almost never the full picture, and that behind the ugliest of public fights, there can be a private, unspoken peace.